Today we are going to take our creativity out of this world as we learn to paint this galaxy tile. And I'm going to teach you step by step, so stick around. Hi friends, welcome back to Brushstrokes. I'm Courtney, and today I'm going to teach you step by step how you can create your very own galaxy tile. You have everything that you will need to paint if you've purchased one of our kits. I'm putting the link below in case you haven't found that yet. But we are going to be working with acrylic paints, which can get a little messy. So I want to walk you guys through just a little bit of a setup process first. So I'm going to put a piece of paper down on the table just to kind of add a little bit of protection. You could grab a placemat, an extra large paper plate, a piece of foil, whatever you have to kind of help you out with that. So you will have your ceramic tile, paintbrush, a paper plate to do mixings of your paints, and then you will have 4 paints. You have a black, you have a blue, dark navy blue, a white, and a pink. Then the only thing that you will need that you don't have already in your kit is a water bowl that you will be rinsing out periodically, and then some napkins that you can have nearby. Also, you may want to kind of add an apron on to protect your clothes, just in case you get any paint on them. If you don't have an apron handy, an old t-shirt or just kind of old paint clothes that you may have around the house works perfect. No need to get all super fancy. So you got that. And also parents, just so you know, if you do get any paint on your hands, that will wash off, or on your skin, that will wash off just fine with some soap and water. So who is ready to get started? Let's start painting. Step 1, we are going to paint the background solid black. So you should have a little cup of black, and I'm just going to dip straight in to this, maybe give it a little mix, and then you're just going to brush this all over your tile. And if you want to, you can come around and you can get those sides if you've got something down on the table. And come all the way around. So you just really want to make sure you've gotten everything painted with black paint. No white spots peeking through, even though we're going to add white later. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to clean this brush out. So we're going to clean this in our water, really get any extra paint there, and then you're going to blot that on your paper towel. So we're going to put the black paint away, don't need that, and we're going to get out our blue paint. And I'm going to hold this while this is still drying, because I can touch it, it's still a tiny bit wet. So as this is still drying, I'm going to show you so that you can see on here kind of where that blue is, because that's where we're going to start to kind of create our galaxy shapes. So I'm going to keep this out so you can see it. So when we start working with the colors, you want to take the tiniest small amount of blue. I'm going to mix this actually up a little bit. And so see that teeny tiny bit, and I'm going to put some on my plate so I can know really kind of where I'm working with. And you're going to grab a little bit on the very kind of tip of the brush. You're going to start, and you're just going to dab this on top of the black paint. If you need to dip more into your paint, dip onto your plate first, and then kind of keep working around. But just work in little tiny dots here. And if you want to make this a full circle, you can. I tried to make mine look like a little planet. Maybe almost a Saturn-esque looking. And then I'm going to come in here, add some at the bottom. And it's just really messy. You really just want this to kind of get messy. A little bit at the top here. I'm pretty happy with that for now. So that's where I'm going to stay with my blue. All right, I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to again rinse off this brush really, really good because we are switching to the light colors. And wipe this off on your napkin. So if you can still see color coming onto your napkin, then you haven't rinsed your brush enough. You want to put that back in. So set this aside. Now I'm going to pull out my pink. We are going to do the same thing. I'm going to show this one just so you can see how the pink has been added just a tiny bit here. So that's what we're going to do with that same technique. So we're going to grab the paint, we're going to dip in and give that a little stir, dip that in, put some on our plate, and then with the very, very top of the brush, you are going to come back in here and just lightly add some pink. I usually just focus on the middle, but if you want to, you could add a little bit down here. But notice how I haven't dipped my brush back in the paint. So I'm just kind of working with that tiny, tiny bit that's on there. And I'm actually going to come back, you can just wipe this off on your napkin if you will, and I want to add a little bit more kind of black or blue just to darken that up a bit. So I got a little bit too much pink, so I'm going to put some blue back on my plate, and I'm just going to come back in here. And add some. And as this dries, it really begins to look a little bit different. I'm going to even come back in here with the black. Maybe even mix some so it's getting a lighter color. But you can keep layering until you get this to exactly where you're happy with. So now I might come in here with a little bit more pink. Remember, tiny, tiny bit to start. All right, I'm going to let that dry. Okay, now I'm going to rinse this brush off. Again, really well. And I'm going to pull down my white paint. And again, I'm going to take some of this onto the plate. Because if you also want to add in a little bit now, I would add a tiny little dab here and there. And then wipe this off on your napkin and then come back in and you can kind of blend it. So that it's looking a little bit more mystical. You can see I'm just really getting messy with that. So I keep messing with my brush, so I'm going to rinse it off one more time and then pull some of this white paint back down. So I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see, because it's looking a little different right now from the final piece, but once we add the final splatter, this really comes to life. So I'm going to pull my paints out of the way. I also like to stand up so that I can be face down on the piece so that I can really see what's going on. Add some more white paint, and I'm going to get a tiny bit of water and add it to tiny bit, guys. Moms, teachers, just the tiniest bit in there. Now you are going to come back over and you're going to hold your brush and you're going to take this hand, you are going to move the bristles. So you're going to flick the bristles. Just like that. Flick them. Ooh, and sometimes they spatter real far like that. So you can see how my brush is this way, and then I'm flicking them just like that. Just a quick little, make a sound effect too with it. And you can keep adding this. So I've used a little bit, so I'm going to dip it back into my paint that we've thinned down ever so slightly. So I've already got a lot on here, so I don't want to go too much more unless you just really want it to be very starry. This is also great because if there were parts that you were like, I wasn't sure how that was going to turn out, then you can cover it with stars. And then you can just keep adding more and more. But now you have a galaxy wall hanging. After you're finished painting, let everything completely dry. Then you can add string, and then you can hang this on your wall or out in your tree house or outside and enjoy. Alternate option for you, you can paint the other side so that when you hang it, you have a full galaxy that will float and hang for you to look at. Pretty cool, huh? You can also add in different colors if you have those around. The possibilities are endless, but it is just an easy, quick technique that you can do at home, and it's always fun to splatter. So, hope you enjoyed this project. Hit the subscribe button and the like button to come back for lots of videos. We're always here to help bring you fun crafting and pottery projects. So until next time, bye.